Outstanding!
Welcome back to my Expat Moving Story. I'm Lauren Inglis with part 4 of our 5-part interview series with expat author Mariam Navaid Ottimofiore. In this edition, we are going to ask Mariam about technology versus the human touch. Which is preferred, or is there a balance between the two? We'll find out next on my Expat Moving Story.
Relocating to a new home. New people. New schools. New beginnings and new adventures. Shared with all, right here, on my Expat Moving Story, with our host Lauren Inglis.
And then, as the global mobility and relocation industry has been gearing up and implementing some big technology enhancements throughout the relocation process, how important would you say it is for the human touch or human contact, such as phone calls, meetings, face-to-face or virtually, to you, as opposed to communicating with your transportation specialist only via email after the intro or the briefing call?
I mean, Lauren, I'm glad you asked that because I think, we've worked with some, really nifty platforms which help to structure and capture information. But I do think that will never replace the personal touch that is needed during a relocation, and just the ability to have someone who you can call, who knows your case and will listen to you and support you. Empathy is a big game changer in the relocation industry, and I do hope more and more relocation professionals understand that, because that is truly what your client is looking for. I often smile sometimes when a relocation company will come to my house and give me a folder of just some checklists of things to be done, and say, there you go, you're sorted. And as someone who moves, Lauren, I can tell you, moving is not just about having those checklists and being able to keep on top of the process. Yes, that's one part of it. That's one part of the process. But, moving goes beyond those checklists and beyond those Excel spreadsheets. And I always say that if you as a relocation professional can put people over policy and process, that is when you're going to have an excellent relocation, because that means you are there to take that phone call, you're there to meet in person, you're happy to come and sort out any issues that may crop up during, the whole move. And that is really what your client will appreciate more than just the checklist, because, that is the bare minimum, in my opinion. And moving is so much more than that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's really, really important for any moving coordinator or transportation specialist to really understand that that's only one part of your move. You've still got so much else and so many people involved in the process as well. But you've got so many other things to think about. And I think, when moving a family like yours as well, you've all got different passports, you've got different bank accounts, you've got tax and immigration to sort out for all these different countries. As any mover, you should really not put that stuff out of your mind. You need to put yourself in your shoes and think about how stressful just the move part might be for you when you've got all that other stuff going on as well. And I think that's what's really important. And that's where the empathy thing comes in as well.
Absolutely. And I think, what you just said made me just remember another related aspect, Lauren. Like, we talked about empathy, and I think that ties in very closely to prioritizing duty of care for your clients. And I think if RMCs are able to prioritize duty of care for the people that they are moving around the world, that can really be a game changer. And to be honest, that is the kind of game changing thing I'd love to see happen in the relocation business and the industry. Like, I'd love to see this revolution happen where, you're not just focused on the physical move. It's not just about the checklists. It's about the people who you're moving and their challenges, their fears, their mindset, everything. I often say that, or just focusing on the move, it's like just focusing on the birth and then forgetting all about the postpartum period, which, as we know, is not a good idea, right? Because it's when the moving van leaves your driveway, that's when the real process of moving actually begins for people like me, and that's where you need so much support. So I'm also in favor of RMCs really continuing that care even after the physical process of moving from A to B has ended, and often when I talk to relocation companies, they'll say, well, that's not in our budget. And how do you budget these things in? Because from a corporate standpoint, it's always a challenge to want to do something, but then have the time, the resources, and the budget to allow that. And I think it ties in very closely to duty of care. If you want to be an RMC that says, we value the people, the global talent who we are helping to move, then, you have to show how you do that. It's not just something you can put in your mission or your core values. You have to show actively how can you demonstrate that in your policies and in your practices. Maybe you check up on them. To continue our metaphor, maybe it's like a 6-month, postpartum checkup that you do with your clients, right? Don't forget about them after you've moved them. Try to check in with them maybe after the 6-month mark and see, how are things going? And I think that would be a great thing as well.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting indeed. Empathy, the big game changer. Well, there you have it. It seems that human touch wins out over nifty platforms and technology. Now, I think it's only fair to say that technology does have a very important role, but you need the human component working alongside of the service itself. I love what Mariam said, people over policy and process. That's when you're going to have an excellent relocation. How true. Mariam, thank you for those wise words and great insight. Folks, you'll not want to miss part 5 of our interview series with Mariam Navaid Ottimofiore. This is our final episode in our series, and this is where Mariam provides some key advice for those considering relocating for the first time. As always, you can watch that episode by clicking the interview at the end of this video. I'm Lauren Inglis for ARPIN's My Expat Moving Story, where we live the life of relocation and love to share the experiences with all of you. See you next time.